Hello, everyone. You're now all unmuted as we focus on the dogs with the butter.
The dogs with the
um, Welcome to another fun and exciting session of Eberron, Ashes of the Last War. I'm Obsidia, everybody's favorite Death Knight and DM of this campaign. I have a somewhat tragic announcement to do at the very start of this. This is the 60th episode of this campaign. However, it is very unlikely we will make it to 69.
No, not nice.
And so there you
go. That's the bonus one shot after we fail to kill the final boss and they escape.
Or just we'll have the post game discussion for the 69th episode. But yeah, we will likely not make it to 69, which is sad. But in good news, we are truly in the end game now. Welcome. And as you can tell, this session is simply called Consequences. Because of, if you watched the previous episode, you know that it's time for our lovable heroes to experience the consequences of their own actions. But before that, we're going to go through the usual setup of around the table introductions before a brief session recap, and then we jump right back in to the suffering. So first of all, we have your favorite kitty mage, Kamar.
Yeah, everyone. My name is Yulia. I go by Royal Knight VT on both Twitch and Twitter. And as Obsidia said, yes, I am the resident wizard cat girl. So thank you for having me. It's been such a great journey. Always happy to be here.
Always happy to have you. Next up, we got Ilya.
Hello. My name is Lily, and I am playing Ilya. Happy to be here for what is sure to be a session with no sadness and no upset feelings and all that stuff, right, Obs?
Yep, they all lived happily ever after.
Everyone lives happily ever after.
There's one thing people should know about Eberron Ashes of the Last War is that most sessions involve everyone being happy and living happily ever after.
Truly, of course.
Thank you, Lily. Next up, we have the horniest MILF that this party could ever hope for. We have Euphoria, emphasis on the cocks.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Maris. I play Lady Euphoria Cox, everyone's favorite hot pink tiefling MILF. Happy to be here, happy to be queer, happy to be playing this definitely super happy, fluffy sunshine and rainbows campaign with the bestest of friends.
Yes, thank you. This campaign is not intended to be as sad and trauma-filled as these players have made it, so...
We make our own misery.
Yeah, they hurt themselves. Thank you, Maris. Next up, we have your pal, Mal Rao.
Hey, I'm Mal Rao, also known as Litro. I am a big pal and also Dragon Man.
Thank you, Litro. Litro's a little tuckered up. Which we can understand, dragons need their hibernation. And last but never least, we have our girl, Shawnee. It's her birthday. Party like it's her birthday.
Hey, it's your girl, Shawnee. Totally real night guy, Sif here. How's it going? I think I'm gonna try to get back to streaming today. This week. I'm very tired. But yeah, no. It's nice seeing you guys. And full disclosure, I'm not even gonna try to front it. There's place your bets on who you think is fucking dead in chat right now.
Yes, that is the true question, chat. Which characters did in fact die?
Really quick, one more thing.
Yes.
I love you guys.
We love you too, Sif. So previously on Eberron, Ashes of the Last War, our plucky group of adventurers continued their celebrations for the final interlude, final section, Attack on Titan Season 4, final. And so we circled back to Mal Rao, who was having real life stuff and wasn't able to attend the previous chill time, so we followed up with them when Sherloon arrived at the house for the celebration, and they had a cute night on the town, eating lots of fatty foods, and then smooching cutely on a Ferris wheel and talking about how he can come to New Hui after everything is said and done and go, she could probably put a big strapping young lad like him to work. Additionally, Snow, everybody's favorite femboy goblin butler, arrived with the various Fey children, including everyone's crowd favorite, Sebastian the Rock. And they came for the party, and Snow had a heart-to-heart with Ilya, where Ilya gave an offer to Snow to come join her and Euphoria in the Fey Wilds when all is said and done, along with all the little Fey kids. Additionally, Euphoria talked to her daughter Magnolia at the festival after watching her macking on Syra, otherwise known as Kairos' cousin, because every girl be gay in this campaign. And talked to her just kind of about, circling back to being a mom, and that she will likely be out of her life for a while, and then just kind of helped build some bridges that may have been neglected for a while. And totally blanking on anything else that may have happened. Oh, Kamar looked at Silonia's happy journal by activating the Sylvana passphrase for it, and got to see all the things that Sylvana had written, or Sylonia had written over the years, that had made her happy, various arcane formula constructs, as well as questions she had about the various members of the party, curious about their backstories, and drawing just pictures of them in languid day-to-day affairs, as she just apparently she really appreciated them and cared about them. And then there was a picture of the Mournlands and a lot of questions she was having about why she was acting so differently there. And then the last thing that was ever written in it was just, "I get it now," and that was it. And with that, it was given to Kamar, which was a bit sad. And finally, apart from that, Malral had a heart-to-heart with Euphoria, basically talking about how, they're sorry about how things played out during the barbecue. Tempers got a little flared, but he cares about her and everything, and that, they let bygones be bygones, which then led into another thing of Malral letting bygones be bygones, as he talked to Sylonia and kind of was like, "Sorry for being a dick to you about, killing Seer. We can still be friends, and I do care about you, and you can be happy and stuff," much to Sylonia saying basically, "Ha ha ha, that's impossible." And I think those were all of the remaining interlude notes before they got the message from House Civis, which was a memory crystal from none other than Field Marshal Jarek Vrain, otherwise known as the Widowmaker, the leader of the Ashbringers, who proceeded to provide a videoized explanation of some of why he was doing this, for the only important reason being that the hero's destruction of the Last Stand facility, and thus preventing the Ashbringers from being able to respawn via their bio-arcane phylacteries, also made it so that his original objective could not be achieved, of saving his friends by blackmailing the kingdoms with basically a nuclear weapon. So instead, he's going to put the nuclear weapon to use to help encourage the kingdoms to figure out a solution to this problem he does not believe there is a solution to anymore. And most importantly, he wants to watch all of them suffer the heartbreak of losing the people they loved and cared about most. And so with that, a series of explosions rocked Greywall, as well as he doxed them by listing some addresses in Sharn as well. And right as the explosions were about to hit the mansion, Ikashi proceeded to transform into his full Archfey form and pulled the mansion, or at least a portion of it that contained all the living people, into the Shadowfell to help screen them from the destruction that was taking place. But with that, I believe that's everything, and we can hop right back in with our heroes inside of the Shadowfell, as you see that Prince is kind of straining, holding up this energy, keeping you guys inside of the Shadowfell. What do you do immediately, and what do you say?
I think Ilya would immediately run over to Prince and say, is there anything that I can do to assist with holding the barrier?
As he's kind of straining, he goes, No, I'm trying to keep some level of distance between you and the Shadowfell itself. I can only maintain it for so long before the predators start circling. You do not have the appropriate protections from my mistress to be able to ensure your safety. I'm going to have to bring you back to your plane soon.
Just keep holding. Thank you, Prince. I'll just kind of go back to everybody and try and gather everybody up together.
Okay. Anybody else wish to do or say anything while you're inside the Shadowfell? I take that as
What just happened?
I'm not.
I was just gonna say. So Euphoria said, "What just happened?"
I'm not sure what happened either, but it can't be good, though.
If a powerful being like Prince is giving everything he can to keep us away from what happened, then it can only be awful.
You guys don't think Jarek, like, used the thing that we don't want him to use, right?
That would have rendered everything we did to nothing.
No, I don't. Alec, that doesn't go full scorched earth. Not with the history he has, yeah?
People will do anything when they're pushed into a corner. Suppose we just didn't realize how far we had pushed him into said corner. I hope that it's not the entire strength of the blasts that caused Seer, but awful people do awful things.
When we get back, who should we go see first? You guys saw that shadow in the sky, right? Was that a ship?
Whoever it was must only wish for death, considering the blast.
I mean, on the off chance that, it did. Whoever was piloting that ship did make it. That's probably where everyone would be heading off to, right? For evacuations. I don't think anyone would be able to use the train in a time like this, yeah?
Can't imagine.
Right.
Listen, Prince holding this up ain't good, right? He's definitely earned his catnip rights, but, like, I don't want to see him strain himself like that. So, as soon as he's ready, as soon as we're done here, we need to immediately figure out where we're going. That's what this time is for. So, what do we want to do? Where do we want to go? It wasn't just us that Jarek would attack, yeah?
I believe that he listed many addresses of those close to us. Lady Cryotrixia, the entire Ravamonts, and so many more.
Well, Trixie is the closest, and assuming everything's fine, we'd be able to figure out our next step from her, yeah? I mean, she works with the government for Greywall. I'd imagine they'd want some hand in the decision-making process for this.
You
Can't exactly keep it secret anymore.
You do know that the 3 locations that were listed in Greywall was Cryotrixia's house, Ray's chapel, and then Shawnee's park. So those are the 3 in Greywall. The rest were in Sharn.
Well, we should take an assessment in Greywall when we get back. Please figure out what's going on, but we need to end this, and we need to end this now.
Once he realizes that we survived last, I'm sure more will be coming if we don't take action immediately.
So we're not going to take a look, make sure everyone's okay. We're just going to run
No,
right to Jarek where we're here.
no. V
No.
needs our help.
Wait, go ahead. I'm
As you're
sorry.
about to say this, you notice that outside of the kind of twisted, dilapidated ruins of your mansion as it appears in the Shadowfell, you see lots and lots of violet cat's eyes beginning to appear around it. And as Prince is straining, he goes, I can't hold it for much longer.
I think we've about overstayed our welcome. Let's head back and see what's going on with Lady Cowatrixia. She, with her in charge, assuming she's all right. That is.
Well, we can start from there. We all ready to go?
Our
Yes, we'll
house
never
was
be.
potentially underground.
We
that's
have
a
to
good
prepare
point.
ourselves for anything.
And
Who knows if Jarek may have been waiting for us to survey his destruction.
with that, Ikashi lets out a groan as the energy bubble around you guys pops, and you blink and you're back into the full Technicolor version of reality that is the material plane, with the entire front of your mansion has just been vaporized, and as well as what appears to be some level of distance around your mansion, buildings have collapsed in, as well as, fires are raging in the vicinity around it, as well as you see plumes of smoke from the area where Crowtrixia's house is, as well as the area where Shawnee's Park is, as well as across the wall that separates the foreign enclave from Greywall itself, where Ray's chapel is. So,
Well, we agreed, right? Cryotrixius first.
Hmm.
I'd like to go to Ray's after. It's the only other place I could think of where maybe people would want to go to stay safe.
Johnny, if you want to go to Ray's now, we couldn't blame you.
No, we need to stick together in a time like this. If Jarek's here to toy with us, or anything that works for him to toy with us and get the drop on us, we need to be together for it. Ray will be fine. We need some direction first, though.
All right, then. Let's go then. To Cryotrixia's.
all right. As you are heading to Cryotrixia's home, you see the destruction around you. You see people running, trying to put out fires and stuff. There's, there seems to be so much confusion about what's going on. And as you go running through the city, you get to what is the noble quarter, the nice area of Greywall, and you see this just it appears that there is a big crater formed where the big flower covered hill that was Cryotrixia's house is, and the areas around it are on fire. As you see that there are several knolls that apparently, some of them have been burned, some of them have just had parts of them what seemingly is just disintegrated off, and you just see the rubble inside of the crater, but that Crowtrixia's house goes pretty significantly underground. So what do you wish to do upon arriving here?
Shall we Just, I don't think any god's gonna stop and check on us, Shawnee says, looking at the crispier knolls.
I think that they know who we are. You know. I'm sure why we are here.
Come on, then. Let's go inside.
Okay. As you approach the crater, you see that there is in fact, piles of rubble in it that are still smoking. How do you want to deal with this?
I don't know, Obs. How do we want to deal with the rubble? I say with my 20 strength.
Do you wish to flex the fact that you are a strong gal who don't need no man?
I am going to pick up the rocks and put them somewhere else.
Okay. Kaishen and Shawnee can move rocks. Anybody else wish to do anything for the rubble? Or any other kind of thing to, discern any living people or anything else. Just whatever ideas you might have.
There are some injured gnolls around and stuff too, and
I think...
Any snake-like tracks in the ground? Reptilian, one might say.
It was her house, so you could say that there were probably a lot of them.
Well, yes, but any to indicate
it doesn't appear
recent
that they have
movement.
Left the crater since it emerged.
Ilya's probably just trying to use ice magic to just cool down whatever fires. Ice and water shit,
Okay. So Ilya's putting out fires. What about Kamar? What are you doing, Kamar?
Be seeing if there are any survivors. Maybe any of the gnolls that are still alive. Try to help and assist that.
Okay. And then Euphoria?
I think, yeah, she can help Kamar.
Okay. So I'm going to assume Malral is probably helping move rubble as well to get to his adopted daughter.
I can also cast Spare the Dying.
Yeah.
When we find bodies, if we find bodies. If.
So you do find...
Spare the Dying is for people still alive.
Yeah. There are several gnolls on the outer areas of whatever was the blast effect that you think you can at least spare them. They might be, missing some limbs and stuff, but they should live. As you pull through
I could also potentially use Stone Shape.
Okay. So you
Do we
say
wanna do
people
that?
use stone shaped to hollow out the stone, I guess, with the rocks being moved, etc.
Okay.
And you were able to find the first indicators of what is the massive scales of cryotrixia as you pull apart the rubble, as you see that she's missing some scales. There's a lot of rocks that have impaled themselves into her into her snake half, and you see that she has wrapped herself around what is actually one of her do you remember from the dining room, the big, it's somewhat like a vase, a cushioned vase that she would sit in with an open front. She appears to have wrapped herself around it, and as you investigate it closer, you see that inside of the vase is a rather dirty and perhaps suit-covered Cleotrixia, but she does not appear to be harmed.
Is that her motherfucking husband's ashes?
What? No.
What?
Cleotrixia sits in a big half vase. It's an open vase because she's a snake.
Okay. You said a vase and then suit covered. Never mind. Sorry.
It's from the rubble and stuff.
Yeah,
it's from the
it's
rubble.
from the fact that she was in a giant explosion.
Because that would be very messed up.
Yeah. All right. So that is, Cleo does appear to be alive. She is very shaken right now because she was just at near ground zero of one of these detonations, but she does appear to be unharmed. And when you investigate Cryotrixie closer, she is alive, but she is breathing very raggedly as you notice just all of the damage she has sustained.
Malral will go ahead and go over and basically pick her up and coddle her in his arms, make sure she's all right. If she has any wounds at all, is definitely going to try and heal those up.
Okay.
Prioritizing Cleo over Cryo, but we'll try and get Cryo too.
Yeah. Cleo does appear to not be harmed. It will not require any healing. Cryotrixia is definitely, she is at 0 health right now, but she is alive. So with some healing, she can stabilize and everything. Everyone else, what would you like to do upon the discovery of the snacks?
I definitely want to clear some space so that we could lie both of them down.
Uh-huh.
Which, for Cleo, it's not a big deal. She's a little babu. Cryo was probably a more time-consuming process of making sure there's enough length for her whole snake body.
Yeah, because she's about 25 feet long.
I'm gonna get to work.
I think Ilya would probably just be like, as awful as this is a very familiar kind of situation for her. With only a few people surviving in a mansion. So she's probably, trying to assist, but is very noticeably, her hands are trembling pretty fiercely, and is just kind of quiet but doing whatever is needed.
Okay. Kamar and Euphoria.
Kamar is going to be next to Shawnee, helping out and also just trying to get a general feel of how Cryotrixia is doing.
Okay. Euphoria?
I think as everyone's trying to make enough space for the giant snake woman, kind of standing back, taking stock of how shaken Ilya is, and just being in close proximity to her.
Okay.
Offer some silent support.
Okay. So Ilya is being supported by Euphoria. Kamar, you're focusing on probably what are some of the lighter parts of Cryotrixia? Like
-1? Yeah.
Helping move her head.
Yes. Being it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay.
With Malral's healing, there will come a point where Cryotrixia's eyes will kind of fly open, and you see her very long and very sharp taloned hands fly out in front of her, as if she is trying to go into defensive, grabbing something, as she kind of looks around with bloodshot eyes, only to see you guys there, and then she frantically looks over and sees her daughter next to her, and sees that her daughter is breathing and stuff, and lets out a very noticeable ragged sigh, and starts crying.
Take your time. Take your time.
Malral just has her in a big old bear hug and is just kind of petting her head.
What happened?
You know what? Screw it. We should say everything, right?
I think so.
There's no point in hiding it.
Malral, do you want to break it to him? To her?
If you like, you can summarize. You don't have to say the entire thing.
Yeah, he'll tell her.
Okay. She, after all of her tears, she's got these very dirt-streaked cheeks now from the explosion and her crying, and just her brow furrows in this look of absolute rage. Which the last time you saw that was when you talked about how Sylonia would potentially kill everybody in this town. So she goes, he tried to hurt you by killing my daughter?
Among others. Yes.
She smashes one of her very large hands into the ground, and you see just the ground crack and break beneath it as a much smaller crater appears where she impacted. I will kill him. I'll kill all of them.
All right, we get that you're angry, but you need some focus, okay? We're gonna head off to Lady Ray's right now to see if there's any refugees sorted together. When you're capable, take your daughter, take whatever you need to, whatever men you've got here, and help organize something for this town, because there's a lot of people who are looking like this right now.
The champions. Perhaps would be a good start. If they live, I'm sure they would want to defend their city properly.
She nods in agreement as she, picks up her daughter and holds her close, and just kind of takes a bit to make sure she's truly okay. As the various people are running around, and she is going to pick up her daughter and kind of, she rises like an empire when she starts getting herself off of the being totally, prone on the ground, and pulls out some of the non-injury wound-bearing rocks that may have just gotten lodged under her scales or something, and pulls them out and starts looking around, and she will slither over and pull somebody out of a second story of a house kind of thing that part of it got detonated. She'll help them out and stuff. So she seems to be taking control of the area. So do you wish to head to the park or Ray's Chapel?
I think Ray's Chapel takes priority, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
As you head to the wall that separates, the Fort Enclave, you notice that you see High Priestess Hecate is distributing out her various acolytes and stuff to help tend to the injured, as she is also using her considerable cleric powers to help deal with the various destruction and injured people. And she'll kind of nod to you guys as you're running over. And when you get to the gate, the gate is shut between the two areas, as there are some very confused and frightened looking guards on it. And they look down at you, and one of the guards from House Thrash goes, No visitors from the city. We're dealing with a security incident.
You know who the fuck we are, right?
Yes.
Then you know we're not just visiting. Let us through.
We are well aware of the security incident. If you'd like our help, you'll let us through.
The guard looks very confused and scared, this is very above his pay grade. And one of the other guards kind of just says, "Fucking, what else are we gonna do at this point?" And he just opens the gate for you guys.
Thank you.
I was this close from ripping that shit down. This close.
Save your strength, Shawnee. Pick your fights.
I will pick all of them. Let's go.
When you work your way through it, everybody's in panic here. But there are less civilian people here. Most everyone in the Foreign Enclave is people who work here, and the various House Thrashk officials and stuff. So there are less people running on the streets and stuff. But you do see House Thrashk guards kind of making patrols, and they'll see you guys come in. And they know you guys are good with Chief Inspector Urlock, and they will provide just some very cursory information that it seems the only attack that happened was at the Chapel of the Silver Flame, but they haven't been able to find any other potential explosive devices or anything else in the area, and they'll allow you to go access it, and you see the just huge crater that was the formerly relatively small fortified structure of the Silver Flame Chapel as it is leveled, and Ray is nowhere to be seen here.
Can I ask a question real quick, just for
Yeah.
my mental picture? So, as you said, the bombs or what have you
Yeah.
were planted in the specific places that Jarek mentioned.
Yep.
So there's not like random buildings that are completely destroyed. They're just all kind of damaged and shaken because
Yeah.
of what can only be the blast.
Yes.
Okay, I'm mental cinemaing myself. I'm trying to make sure I got it right.
So yeah, so you see some of the areas in within a couple hundred, probably within about 50 feet of the actual blast site, have been damaged heavily, and then about 100 feet out they get less damaged but still damaged. But the ground zero of the church itself has been disintegrated. Just some loose stones left.
Shawnee is just ripping through it right now since they don't see Ray.
You wish to do or say anything to anyone or anything?
Any of the bystanders, the people who are still around on the scene, Euphoria would approach and ask if anything's been seen of Ray.
There's a lot of House Thrash people here specifically because it's the one very specific detonated place. You see the chief inspector in her very disheveled looking blouse, and she's wearing a pantsuit kind of thing, and she's got her long greatcoat kind of on and smoking a cigarette as she looks over and looks at you and goes, "Oh, thank the host that you made it here. No idea what in the hell's happened here, but it seems that some of my guards indicated that she had received a pass to go into the town with the orphans and was taking them to the park."
Shawnee 180 just books it.
That's where we're going.
Yeah, we'll be heading there next. Everything here under control?
Yeah, well, and if you know anything about what's going on with this, I expect you to report it to my office.
I can certainly relay the events that transpired to lead up to this, and she'll, for brevity's sake, give the gist of what's been happening with Jarek.
She looks over at the Greywall part of the city, and her cigarette kind of falls from her lips as you talk about Jarek and the Ashbringers being involved. By the host, what else have they done?
We're about to find that out.
And as everyone else rushes to the park, you see that the park is in ruins and disarray. All of the equipment, like the little playgrounds and stuff, have been shattered, burned, or disintegrated. And the one thing that is not damaged right here is the statue of Spike. And you see there are various cries coming from behind it.
That's my boy. That's my dog. That's my boy. Shawnee is still booking it right towards that statue to where the crying is.
Okay. When you get to the statue, you see that there are 6 children, 3 shifters, 2 goblinoids, and a gnoll. That there is a heavily burned and like legless figure that is wrapped around them, and there does appear to have been a bubble around the kids as well, that the area is not damaged or like blast affected, but this person was on the other side of that bubble.
How do the kids look? Are they
They
scared?
look
Or are they
scared
staring?
shitless.
Here, come here, darlings. It's okay.
Shawnee's gonna, seeing that the kids are fine with Euphoria, Shawnee's gonna go to the body.
Yeah, as the kids are crying and stuff and rushing over to Euphoria, the body kind of flops to the ground. The entire back of it has just been singed away. Like all the hair that might have been on the back of the skull is gone. It's just a mottled flesh of, just burned and blackened scalds, and the legs are gone. And there does, once you kind of brush aside some of the dust, you do see there is one heavily damaged mechanical arm, as well as one, formerly organic arm that has been incredibly scarred and burned as well. And kind of move the body, and you see, Ray's face has just been twisted in to, half of her has always been burned, so that's that status hasn't changed. But the magical gem eye that she has lost its luster, as the rest of her non-traditionally burned face is just twisted in pain. But you notice that she's not breathing anymore.
Shawne is like shaking her. Ray, come on. We can get you new legs. We can get you a shinier face, but you... Ray, come on. These kids need you. I need you. I can't. I can't. She just buries herself into Ray's corpse and starts crying.
Ray does not respond. Kamar and Ilya, what do you wish to do?
Kamar is standing a few feet away from Shawnee, just looking at Ray's body, and she doesn't want to approach, but will just kind of silently cup her hands around her mouth and sob quietly.
Ilya?
Yeah, Ilya would, I think, walk up to Shawnee and just kind of sit down and just, through tears of her own, just quietly put her hand on Shawnee's back and just join her in the tears to show her that she's not alone.
Kamara is able to see this, especially because she's not currently crying over the body, but you do see that once her body was turned, half of her body, because both of her leg augments have been just ripped off, leaving a very tattered metallic ruins where her left and right leg were. You do see that she did have a silver flame holy symbol in her one organic hand, that's now just kind of limply lying there as Ilya and Shani are crying over it.
Shawnee's gonna reach for the silver flame amulet if it's pointed out to her. Does anybody have anything for this right now to help her? Is there anything?
I could bring her back.
How?
I would need something to call back her soul.
How?
A large diamond of significant value is
How
needed.
How long?
Time limit is 10 days.
You have money, right? 500 gold for a person. That's cheap, right? That's a good deal, right? We can get a diamond here, right?
I'm sure we could. I'm sure we could do it.
Do you need like all of her pieces, all of her bits, or? You weren't just like lying to get my hopes up, right? I mean, 500 gold. That's just.
The soul has to be willing
It's gotta be
and at liberty to rejoin the body.
There's no way that dumb Silver Flame's not done with her. She's gotta come back, right? And Shawnee like gets up and like through tears starts looking for Ray's like prosthetics and stuff to start like slowly aligning her body together.
Well, her legs are gone. They've quite clearly been shearing off and destroyed by the explosion.
The spell will close all mortal wounds, but it won't restore any missing body parts.
I mean, she worked great without them. So like, is anyone in the party looking at Shawnee a weird way? By the way, she's saying this.
Mm-hmm.
I just, we can get a diamond in 10 days, right? This is gonna work. It'll be fine, right?
Euphoria will sidestep away from the kiddos after she's attempted to calm them down a bit and just goes over to Shawnee and puts a hand on her shoulder like, Shawnee, you know we do everything that we can. But right now, we got to focus on the living, okay?
I know. We gotta get these kids out of here, but I mean, there's some house thrash guys nearby. They could watch her body for us, right? We just say, hey, just make sure nothing happens. And we'll be back. I mean, it's 10 days, right? We can find a shiny little rock in 10 days, right?
We got 10 days. It's okay.
I just don't want to imagine a world where she, of all people, won't be there to look at me.
I understand. But right now, I think those kids need you even more.
I know. I just 500 gold for a life. I'm a little shaken up about it. Johnny gets up and then looks at the kids and goes, I'm really tired. And you guys look that way too. And then she scoops up all 6 of them and says, we're going to go find someplace for you all the rest, okay?
They, cry and hold you and stuff. They just seem so scared. And one of them asks, is this gonna be okay?
We're gonna do our best for her, okay? But right now, what she'd want more than anything is for us to do our best for you guys. And that includes getting you someplace safe, okay? There's some nice men nearby who'll make sure nothing more will happen to Ray while we're gone, okay? Now stay strong, and I'll get you somewhere safe to cry, okay? Shawnee will start pacing while holding 6 kids.
Okay. As the kids are being escorted away, what does everyone else wish to do?
I know Mara's gonna stick by Shawnee's side and, hold her shoulder, make sure she's doing okay.
Okay. Ilya, Euphoria?
I gotta go check to see if the Ravamon estate is still standing.
So, of course. I don't know. He always was a bit of a paranoid man set on survival, wasn't he?
He's definitely got a bunker, if that's what you're asking, but I don't know if he had the time to get down there. And who knows if... You see, she falters a little bit, just... Who knows if Magnolia was there?
Euphoria. We'll get over there. It's just... Yeah, we'll get over there. There's so many more people that Jarek decided that should suffer for our actions. Oh, God.
I know that Shawnee and Kamar also got people in Sharn, so I imagine they'd want to come too. We should wait for them. I'm just a little antsy.
So, and it will kind of reach out to Euphoria's hand and just give it a really tight squeeze, doing her best to kind of conceal the shaking that she has, and just we'll help as many as we can.
Yeah. You hanging in there?
Oh. No, I'm not. But
Could have fooled me.
This is why, I think. This is why that I would like to return. This world can be so awful to people, to innocent people, over and over again, and just abhorrent behaviors.
Ray died defending those kids. I know that's exactly what she would have done. Something as selfless as that.
If
Part of me... It sounds so terrible, but a part of me is hoping that Augustus wasn't so selfless.
He deserves to see happiness.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Indeed, I suppose so. I think you and I both know that we would gladly put ourselves in front of protecting people like this. And that's what makes it all too scary in some ways.
Well, let's get these kids dropped off, and we'll go from there.
Yes, let's.
Okay. So if you wish to take the kids, they'll eventually, you'll find some of the Greywall guards under Captain Venomspite, who can take care of them as well with the various other, injured and kind of chaotic people. But in the immediate aftermath of this, what do you wish to do? Euphoria expressed wanting to go to Sharn. You do know it takes a day and a half to get to Sharn, just to be clear.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I guess we can make sure that everyone is okay on this side before we head out.
Complete shot in the dark. You don't think the governor, being the governor, wouldn't have some magic fancy way to get to Sharn faster, do you? Just
I mean, it's possible, but
a hopeful thought.
Would they even want to see us if they knew we were responsible for this?
They know we weren't responsible for this. Listen, if someone like Cleotrixia, who, in all rights had the option to be angry to us, if she chose not to be angry to us, but while holding her injured daughter, we were doing what was right. And I think they know that. They will know that.
The shot, anything is at this point.
will we even get an audience? I imagine things are a little chaotic.
No, I think since we told Cryo everything, well, they'll probably be more willing to listen to us. If she's the one insisting it.
So what would you like to do? Do you want to go to the governor? Do you want to wait for the governor to contact you? Do you want to go to Sharn? What would you like to do?
I think we should go to the governor. That's my vote, guys.
Yeah, it's worth.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
Okay. You can proceed over to the governor's manor / castle. You do see that there are a lot of guards here. Probably the lion's share of guards are located here right now. And at the gate, you see a Warforged kind of look at you guys approaching and Captain Venomspite said you'd be coming. Governor is expecting you.
So we can just walk on in?
Yep, they'll open the gates. This is your first time actually going to the governor's house. Last
Not
time,
not entirely true. We did try to climb the fence.
You did. But as you go through the grounds, the governor's mansion wasn't damaged, so it seems very like the grounds around it are, there's like flowers and topiary and hedges and stuff, but it all seems very sterile and perfunctory. This is clearly not something maintained with any particular preferences or desire. This is very much like, this is something you're supposed to have in front of a place like this. Just a groundskeeper doing their thing. When a pair of guards let you into the actual castle itself, Captain Venomspite will be standing there. She looks very concerned, rather than the normal just pissed off at everything look. She just looks very concerned right now. And she looks over at you. I spoke to the governor, and he said that he had been expecting you. You have information, or he has information for you. I'm not entirely sure about it.
Yeah, we, did Cryotrixia come by?
No, she hasn't had a chance to get here.
Well, then we have some information to share with them.
All right. I'm going to need you to hand over your weapons just as a safety precaution in the presence of the governor.
Mm-hmm. Shawnee puts her bracelets out in front.
Set down the staff.
Set down my stuff too.
Imagine having a staff of power. What a flex.
Could be us.
Fucking spellcasters.
Euphoria.
Begrudgingly, unsheathes her rapiers.
And Malral has his decorative weapon.
Part of my religion.
So
My blacksmith hammer?
yeah, I was just like, your weapon is, your weapon isn't a threat to anyone. So I feel like you handing it over is not a big deal, since you never use it anyway.
You wouldn't take an old wizard's walking stick now, would you?
Yes, always. Never trust a fucking wizard.
Just walks in and is like, well, yes, I'm completely unarmed. Anyway, summons nuke.
Yeah,
We can't use that word, it's too soon.
the Captain Venomspite will hand them off to one of her subordinates and be like, I'll have them return to you once you're done speaking to him. I just want you to be aware that many people can be a bit off-put meeting the governor for the first time. I can assure you that he has done good things for the city, so just keep that in mind.
I'm a giant lizard man. How much more weird can it get?
Aren't you pretty common, Malral?
You said
Dragonborn, not so much.
So she takes you past the foyer where there's just you see this is very much more perfunctory art and decorations and stuff, but there is no actual involvement in it from anybody who cares about anything. They're basically pictures that you could get at any kind of high-end art thing that just people would buy for the sake of having them. There's no pictures of the governor around anywhere. And she takes you to what is a dungeon area of it, and she gestures for you to follow her in. And as you get deeper down there, you notice that there are no lanterns or anything. It's all mage lights that begin there's some mage lights at the very beginning of the dungeon, and then you get that very familiar very wet organic smell that you remember from The Last Stand's deepest bowels. And as you progress, the walls and floor and ceiling become much fleshier as various eyes kind of blink open from the walls and look at you. And there are various kinds of crystals embedded in some of the eyes and flesh that are illuminating the area. And the Captain Venomspite will just say, I assure you that none of this should harm you, so I know it can be strange.
Osman's got weird decor. It's all right. You know, LD was kind of like that too back home.
Right. And as she directs you to what is perhaps the deepest area underground, you see her open like it's more of a just fleshy mass that parts for you guys as you approach it. And this room is a cavernous room covered in more of that just still living flesh, and there is dozens and dozens of eyeballs that are projecting various images and scenes, and seems to be active footage of Greywall and various people in Greywall as they go dozens and dozens up into the air, and as if they're just like this organic mass has grown out of the ground into probably a 15-foot high, tendrilled tower of eye stalks, and floating in the center of it in a lotus position is something that none of you have ever seen in real life, but you are familiar with the aesthetic, and from the information just in general, is this is quite clearly a very well-dressed illithid at the center of all of these eyes, constantly blinking to different points of view and things. And you hear echoing in your skulls a voice that you've heard several times coming from Captain Venomspite's mouth, as it just seemingly emerges into your psyche rather than being said out loud, as you hear, so you've finally decided to visit.
Shani's like pointing and then looking at the group. She's doing the soy jock fucking thing. It's like, is that? Sorry, just give us, I guess, a second to process.
Is there a problem?
It's not a problem. It's more like, you know how like, I don't know if you have this is a big thing in Sean, but you know those people who like host like talk shows or whatever over like the Scryan orbs, and they go on about conspiracy theories. This feels like one of them. This feels unreal.
It's just an illithid, isn't it?
Have you seen it? Have you met one of them before?
Well, no, but being from the Feywild, we have weird things too.
Well, yeah, I guess, but they're normal to you, right? Like, believe it or not, cats are not common in some parts of the world, from what I've been told. I don't know, this feels like some grand reveal, and you kind of ruin it for me, Ilya.
You feel just this sense of kind of amusement bubbling from inside each of your skulls as the governor, mentally parts the lots and lots of eye projectors as he starts descending down towards you. Yes, I am aware that my presence tends to be a bit surprising and unsettling to newcomers. I, in part, choose to maintain my control from within here and act through my proxies, then walk the streets for that reason in part.
We are glad to finally make your acquaintance in the physical form.
Before we get to talking, do you have a name? We've kind of just been calling you the governor in conversation, and obviously we'll keep doing that, but can't exactly say, "Hi, Governor, how are you doing, Mr. Governor?"
You would not be able to properly understand or say my name, so you may simply refer to me as the governor for simplicity.
Okay.
Sorry, what?
Oh, no, I was going to go into the big topic while we were here, but if you got something more to say, go for it.
I'm aware that you have made considerable enemies. I did not think that they would strike you so directly, or that you would have survived the what you encountered at your mansion. But I presume that Fey accessory was able to preserve you.
You're correct. The Fey accessory, as you call him, was able to take us to a sort of purgatorial plane or escape of the Shadowfell for a few moments.
I don't imagine that our enemy currently is aware of our survival either.
Presumably, although I do have a sense that if they expected anyone to survive their attempts, it would certainly be the rather plucky nature of your particular band. But regardless, it has now become a problem for me in addition to my city. And so I feel it is necessary to take a more direct hand with your particular group.
Is there any assistance that you can provide us in the coming days? I'm sure would be more than welcome.
We've been told that you might have some information for us.
I wish I could provide more direct information about your coming days, but it seems whoever was operating to set up these devices was aware of my psionic cloak over the city and was able to evade it. So I myself was unaware of who did this and when, but I can at least provide you some resources as a bit of a return on the quite considerable investment I've put into you.
By all means, then, I suppose.
Frankly, I think we'll take what we can get.
Mm.
Excellent. Well, I have put in all this time and effort to get you deeply connected to this city. I think it is now time that you pay me back by actually defending it. I will see that the champions will be tasked to you when the time comes. I know that while I maintain the comparative management of this city, that their primary purpose is to fight and presumably die for it, so I'm sure that they will be an excellent service to assist you.
It would be most gracious of a boon, considering that we are at work to repay your kindness, as you so said. It still leaves the issue of finding the Ashbringers.
I unfortunately do not have any leads on that, but from what I understand, you and your particular companion, Sylonia, probably has some awareness based on her history with the background surrounding the Ashbringers.
We should go to Sharn first, though, yeah? That was the other place that got blown up. I mean, we're still gonna fight the Ashbringers. That was a given, but
I believe everyone would need some time to prepare, so prepare and brace.
Yes, I presumed you would want to go check in on your various family members and your homes over there. My assumption is if this city is any evidence, they likely have been struck as well, with similar effect.
Yes, we were hoping to head really as soon as possible, but one favor that I suppose that we would like to ask is if there is any sort of teleportation matrix that we potentially could administer to be back and forth in quicker fashion, so that we could accelerate the process.
You feel that very amused feeling bubble from within you again. I imagine you probably require more brevity than using one of the lightning rails would provide. Assuming whoever it is you wish to see is still living, I can only assume that you would like to get there quicker to perhaps have any effort or to see their final moments.
Indeed. As well as, I think that traveling by a lightning rail would be a bit more trackable by our adversaries if they have such close eyes on us in the first place.
That is, of course, very likely. I can only assume what their plans are at this point. After so much, I was surprised about how much you were willing to clue in the erstwhile chief inspector about who was involved in this. Seems to be in poor form to be overly discussing your connections with the Ashbringers to those outside of your little immediate circle.
I think it only fair that they know what exactly they are up against.
I mean, we also have reasons to keep it secret, true, of course. I mean, the reason we started this was because of a secret, and, there are members who would rather not have those connections be made, but Greywall's our home. We want to defend it, and we want to make sure the people here feel safe. So they can know that it's the Ashbringers, sure, but they're also going to know that we're going to kick their ass. So it'll even out.
You feel this sensation of dismissal float within you as the governor just says, I do not particularly care who you clue into what. I am sure that I stay apprised of all of your affairs, as you are mine and in my city. So I simply wish to see if perhaps you were slipping tongues unintentionally. As long as the Ashbringers' potential connections to this city never come out into the open, for I am, of course, a very open opponent of the Ashbringers and their particular behavior, I would be most distressed to find out if they had ever taken safe refuge within my city without me knowing about it.
If I were to wager a guess, they do have a master of stealth and, I believe, shape-changing amongst them, so whoever they were, it would be hard to track. So perhaps it was ill-advised to let the chief inspector know. However, the champions, I think we would be able to tell the difference between a fake and the real.
Oh, they'll be entirely at your disposal. I would prefer if you return them at the end of it, but I would understand if that is not possible.
Darling, we would like to avoid any further casualties, considering what has been inflicted so far.
Well, if they were capable of doing this and you wish to confront them, I can only imagine the level of destruction they can personally target towards you.
You don't have to tell us twice. I appreciate the cold calculating nature. Too familiar to me.
You serve a very important purpose to my city and to extend the understanding that I wish to foster between my city and the rest of the kingdoms. You are a sign of the future, and I have ensured that you have continued to be deeply involved in my city so that you can never truly separate yourself from it. This in turn will foster greater understanding, commerce, and eventually acceptance by the rest of the kingdoms, and I will no longer have to be overly concerned about them interdicting into my affairs. But in turn, you do belong to me, and I would rather not see you so quickly expended in pursuit of your own vendettas.
It is very appreciated, the concerns that you do show us. Is there anything else? As I believe we must make haste in the coming days.
Indeed, I will see that the continued repairs and recovery occurs in my town, and there are potential way I can direct you to Sharn. It is somewhat difficult and perhaps a bit perilous, but I could try and shift you across the plains to Sharn. I cannot guarantee your safety, but it is a possibility in the name of expediency.
I am at a stage where my concern greatly encapsulates my logic. I'm using big words. Is this a side effect of this telepathy thing?
No, I'm proud of you. That was good.
You feel that mental amusement again, but this is like very much like when you see a dog do an amusing trick. That's the level of patronization you feel mentally.
DM, I wanted to ask this also out of a pure player curiosity thing, so feel free to dismiss it, but do the Dalekir parts of Shawnee react at all to the governor since he's like an aberration?
No, actually they do not. There is lore parts about the governor's particular relationship with the Dalekir, but no, it does not react any way like it was when you were in the last stand.
I say we take the what did you call it again, Ilya? A matrix? You used a lot of big words when you were speaking.
I apologize. I suppose I did slip back into the diplomatic tongue. But I believe they were calling it more a plane shift.
Yes, House Orion has not established sufficient connections with my city in order to build a teleportation circle already set up within it. So that is unavailable. The only thing that they have so far approached is that lightning rail. But I can take you through the plane of air and use that as a gateway connection point to take you to Sharn due to its own particular proclivities and its deep connections with that state of the universe. But once again, it is not a guaranteed process, nor is it a particularly accurate one.
Considering, I believe, I alone am so uncomfortable with shifting through planes, I believe this is up to your discretion.
So long as it gets us there quick.
Kamar, do you wish to say anything?
No, if it's a way to get there faster, might as well take the chance.
Okay. With that, Governor, well, you just feel the sense of acknowledgement, and the Governor will be like, then I will create the rift It will only be open momentarily, so please proceed through with some level of haste. I will ensure that your domicile is not any more destroyed when you return.
We do appreciate your help, Governor. Turn to you in a short matter of time.
It has been noted, and I'm sure that you can appreciate my continual patronage of you.
Of course. Really will take a not like completely like giving everything away, but like an honorable bow, but knowing that like he's kind of fucking with us a little bit.
You're his. You are his property.
Why are you being so transactional about this? We have the same home.
This is not my home. This is simply my territory.
We can save these philosophical debates for later. I'd imagine we'd be able to visit you more often once all this is done, yeah?
I don't feel like you, of all people, are in a state to discuss philosophy with me.
Oh,
That's okay. It took Larissa a while, too, to catch up.
What an incredible feat.
oh goodness.
Too dumb to realize he's shit-talking. Invincible. Bulletproof sheet, even. Okay, let's go.
You goes, this will only hurt for a moment. As you feel a very deep, penetrating feeling into like the deepest parts of your brain as he holds up his hands and makes a gesture of this massive output of psionic energy as he makes somewhat of a slicing motion with one hand as the other hand makes a kind of pulling the curtain approach as he rips open a hole in reality in front of him, and you feel the something like barbed hooks have been buried inside of your brains as you are directed into this rift, and it then abruptly closes behind you as you feel a profound sensation of falling as you are in the plane of air right now. And there is no ground here as you are just like free falling down towards, I don't know, the infinite down, however the plane of air works.
There's air and some more air, and wow, look, air.
You see giant like avian creatures, flying around and tearing each other apart and feasting on their planar innards as various elementals are dancing across the skies, and you see a cloud like grab a swarm of like axe-beaded four-winged birds and just consume them, and the cloud becomes like a red mist as it then starts raining bones and viscera. And before you feel the particular predatory approaches of the various denizens here, you then feel those hooks yank deeper into your brains as a secondary rift appears in front of you, and you get the continued feeling of falling as the hooks then pull out of your brains, probably leaving a ragged feeling of tears as you are now falling into what is one of the various featherfall lanes as it triggers right when you're feeling most imminent. And you notice that there is also a lot of smoke coming from various areas of Sharn before your descent is fully arrested.
Okay.
Three planes in one day. Interesting.
Say that's a personal record.
Oh boy, my brains are all kind of scrambled.
That was not exactly as pleasant as I even could have imagined as someone that's done that regularly.
We don't have to go back that way, right?
If you don't want to, it's...
Don't say it like that. That implies it's an option. Mal, you okay, buddy? Oh damn, he's really out of it all. Okay, who are we going to first?
I'd like to make an immediate stop at the Ravamont estate.
Okay.
But I know that Shawnee and Kamar, you two have places you want to check too, so...
What level are we on? Obs, are we upper level or...
You're in the middle spot, or the middle towers right now. You will hear, basic, you hear loud announcements from members of the City Watch telling people to return to their homes. There has been a series of terrorist attacks. The Watch is looking into it. Please stay calm, return to your homes. And you also hear what is, magical broadcasts basically talking about a series of terrorist attacks, and projected deaths are in the hundreds right now in the lower towers. And there has also been significant damage to the upper towers, which has been prioritized by the Watch to fully investigate.
I mean, we could all head up together. I mean, and then we can just hop down the Featherfall way.
We could, but darling, I don't want you to feel that other people are more important than your people. You go.
What do you mean, other versus your? You're my people, Euphoria. You're my family. Come on. I mean, I don't want to speak for the two of us because there's two of us, but you're important to us too.
You're definitely speaking as one right now. We're in this together.
I know, but I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to split up this time.
Well, one, Jarek could be planning to jump any one of us right now, so splitting up might not be good. And two, you were there for us when we were going through it. We want to be there for you. And also, if we all go together down to the lower level, it sounds like they need more people in general, because the City Watch is, being the City Watch and only caring about the more rich part. So, we'll go with you, and then we'll go down together. That sound good?
Okay.
As you head to the upper towers, obviously guards are rolling deep right now in the upper towers, and they do recognize you guys, at least Kamar and Shawnee, because you guys are kind of famous here, and they know, looking at Euphoria, they do a quick identification check and know that she is Euphoria Cox, and so they will give you access to the upper towers. They assure you that you will be closely monitored, as this is a tense security situation right now.
That's fine, but come on, let's just hurry.
Okay. You, as you proceed over to the residential area of the upper towers, you notice that there are a lot of guards here, as basically the entire apartment building for the super ritzy apartments that the Ravamont stayed in has been just leveled, and causing a significant amount of damage to all the surrounding areas. You see dozens of House Durasco medics. House Durasco is the dragon-marked house of healing. It's a halfling house. they're the ones that produce like 90% of the healing potions and everything that you guys have purchased outside of Greywall. And they are tending to lots of very fancy, very rich people who have received various amounts of injuries. And you see, as you look through the crowds, you do eventually see a very, blast-worn Oriana, kind of holding her kids as a group of House Durasco healers are attending to somebody on the ground.
Oriana?
Euphoria?
She'll rush over to the group of them. Are you okay? Are the kids okay?
The kids are crying in Infernal, which sounds awful lot like French. And,
not my Infernal.
You have a different dialect. You're the Infernal via Louisiana.
A different level of hell.
Yeah, different level. So she goes, yes, the children are all right. They are. We have no idea what happened. Augustus, and she looks down, and you see Augustus is half the man he used to be, because the entire right side of his body has been just burned off, and he is lying there as a group of halflings are trying various kinds of healing spells and stuff. And he looks like he has a perhaps like where his arm used to be, there is a pair of just like really heavily damaged, somewhat, Euphoria is able to tell this because she's seen this used before. This used to be Augustus's shield and the straps that would hold it in place. As you just see the straps that were left next to the half of his body where he used to have an arm and a leg and probably a lot of organs.
He's alive, right?
The
right?
Halflings kind of look at each other. We're trying to explore the full range of that right now.
He'll this man is too damn stubborn to die.
We appreciate your concern, ma'am, but it seems as if there is some kind of magical energy that is interfering with our abilities to heal him.
Interfering?
Is there any...
Never seen it before.
Is there anything that those of us that are magically inclined assist with in any?
Can I cast Identify on him?
He is not a magical object.
No, but when you cast Identify, you can also identify a magical effect that's on a thing.
Sure. You spend 10 minutes to cast it, and you see that there appears to have been at least some level of chimeric energy that was associated with the explosion, in a way that wasn't necessarily present at least at Cryotrixie, as you didn't investigate anywhere about it. So, but there seems to be some of the energy you've heard Sylonia talk about, the anti-reality aspect of it, that is kind of permeated into the damaged parts of Augustus.
Okay. Just quoting the spell real quick. If you instead touch a creature throughout the casting, you learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting it. If it's not a spell, then I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more of a type of damage effect he received in addition to the just being in the middle of an explosion.
And Sylonia is here, right?
Sure.
Okay. I guess
You said a poison effect?
No.
Oh, I
chimeric
misheard
energy.
you. Okay.
Chimeric energy is literally the nuclear energy that's in Sylonia and was what destroyed Seer.
Yes, I have a few options. I don't know if any of them will work, but I have remove curse, remove disease, lesser restoration, greater restoration.
I'm sure because like these are professional healers like from the upper levels of Sharn, they probably have the same options.
Yeah.
All we can really do is hope and wait. I mean, they could bring him back, but
We've tried using greater restoration, but it's not working.
Sylonia, do you, by any chance, have any ideas?
Sylonia looks real nervous right now.
It's all right if you don't. I
could take a look, see if there's anything I can do.
Would that be all right, Euphoria?
Yeah.
And Oriana?
Oriana, this is our resident expert. If it'd be okay that she take a look at him.
If it means Augusti's coming back to me, then I will do anything.
Go ahead.
Sylonia goes over to Augustus, and you see her spider bot leap off of her back and does a quick magical scan of him. And she kind of scowls and has this look of very close scrutiny at him before she takes off her left glove, and you see her hand, which is covered in those kind of prismatic golden cracks from the chimeric energy, and she puts it on the burned side of his body, and you all get this feeling of, this, it's just like the slightest amount of weightlessness slash static over your skin, the nails on the chalkboard at the back of your consciousness and stuff, as her hand pulses for a few moments as the energy grows brighter around the back of her hand, and then the violation of reality kind of dissipates, and just as quickly as it came, and she kind of looks up and goes, I think you can try the spells again now. I think I've eliminated what was interfering with them. A little halfling medic kind of looks at her real confused and goes over, and you hear him casting a greater restoration again, and you see Augustus start coughing as apparently he has started breathing again.
She'll much as she wants to approach him herself, she'll step back and motion to Oriana to go to him.
Oriana starts crying as she goes over to him, and you see her, and she starts, basically very half-heartedly kind of cursing him out in Infernal for trying to be a hero and, standing between them and the explosion and soaking it when she could have done more to help him. She is powerful in her own right, and she's just kind of chewing him out as she's crying and holding his one remaining hand. The halflings kind of look up at you guys and go, "How did you do that? What? I didn't even know what that was."
It's a bit of a secret, but our friend here is truly incredible.
She's very talented, she is.
Best of the best.
Sylonia looks very uncomfortable. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything exceptional. I'm just glad to see that your effects are working properly again.
Thank you, Sylonia. That didn't take too much out of you, did it?
He looks over to you and goes, no, it's more of nothing was taken out of me. It was things I gained.
I see.
Just kind of looks uncomfortable, and the little tieflings will rush over to Euphoria and just kind of hug her legs, crying.
Oh, Litlins. And she'll give them each a little smooch on the forehead. Everett, Opal, Layla, I'm so glad you're all right.
It was so scary. You were just having some tea, and then there was this rumbling and light and fire, and the father picked up his shield, and he got all this kind of energy to protect him, but then Mother pulled us all away, and everything was gone, and he was... And they kind of look over at Augustus on the ground, and just, like, scream.
I know. Daddy's a little tuckered out right now, but he'll pull through.
Is Daddy gonna be alright?
I think so. But he might need your help now. Just a little bit. He won't admit it, but it might be nice if you help your mother take care of Dad, okay?
I'm so scared.
I know. And she'll pull them in for a big group smush.
Mm-hmm. And they just cling to you. They're just, like, very terrified. But the Oriana is gonna be still holding Augustus's hand, and she looks over after, basically, kissing him a lot and swearing at him. She looks at Euphoria and the rest of you, and she goes, thank you so much for coming here and for protecting him. I do not know why you are here, but I am so thankful that you were.
I know that you and I haven't always seen eye to eye on, well, most everything, Oriana, but I look after my own. That includes you. Have you? Did you see Maggie at all? Do you know where she is?
I was told she was aboard the diligent over in the sky dock.
Okay. That's good to know. Thank you.
One of the halflings kind of chimes up and goes, But the skydock was destroyed. There was a bomb there.
Okay. I gotta go then. I gotta go. Goodbye, kids. and give the kids a last little smush, and without even like really addressing the rest of the party, she's leaving. She's gone.
Euphoria.
I gotta go find her.
No, I know. And I'm coming with you, of course. Just deepers. I'm sure that she was fine. Kairos is one lucky son of a bitch, I believe, is one where you would have.
God, ain't that the truth? It better hold true now, because I tell you, I'm not losing her too.
The Oriana will hold her kids, and you notice that none of the maids are here, though.
Maybe they're all sick.
It was their sick day. It was their sick day.
They cashed in their PTO.
Thank you, Matt.
They left for the day.
They were sick. They had to stay home.
Let's go see Magnolia and not ponder this thought any further.
As to punctuate the reoccurring joke of, but what if they get sick? There will be some maids who survived because they got sick. And they took the day off.
Oh my god.
That's why you don't have just one.
Yeah, what if the other one dies in a nuclear blast?
What if the terrorists get them? I'll have to do my own laundry.
God.
Yes, lessons from the Red Scare. We should all know.
All right, so you guys head to the sky dock, and you notice that, well, the first thing is that the sky dock has been probably about 70% destroyed. You see parts of the sky dock have crashed into the towers below them, as well as, you know, pieces of it are in the surrounding landscape, as well as several airships are crashed into various parts of Sharn, as well as into the surrounding landscape. And you see there are some House Jarasco medics around, as well as lots of City Watch, but most importantly, lots of House Leander staff are very thoroughly looking through everything / being victims of various injuries or accounting or identifying bodies around the parts of Sharn's towers that were not the Skydock itself, but perhaps connected to it. You know, processing places, warehouses, etc.
Oh. And she's just gonna make a dash down there and just start asking anybody and everybody if they've seen either Kairos or Magnolia.
Everyone's kind of very confused, but you know, they know you. The Leander staff know you specifically, because you've worked with them in the past with Augustus and everything. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the Silver Lining never docked today. It was supposed to, but apparently was reassigned to another mission last minute, so it never reported. The Diligent, he kind of trails off as he looks down, as you see the sundered pieces of an airship that have crashed through some of the towers of the middle and lower towers.
I guess we go check it out.
As you start heading off, you hear, "Mama?
Maggie?"
And from some of the House Jarasco and House Leander staff, you see Magnolia, who was formerly wearing what is, you know, a very probably attractive outfit, but has since been covered in dust and soot, as well as what was once very well maintained makeup and hair and stuff has been disheveled, and she comes rushing through the crowd over to you and grabs you.
Euphoria pulls her in for a very uncomfortably tight hug. Just, Magnolia, baby. God, I thought. Are you okay? Are you fine?
I'm so happy to see you, Mama. I didn't know what happened. I was waiting for Sarah. We were supposed to have some time out on the town, but as I was waiting, she was late and she never came. And then just kind of starts trailing off as she looks, off the precipice down to where the shattered remains of the Diligent are.
It's okay. It's fine. You're not hurt, are you?
No, I was just nearby. I was waiting for her, and I had put in my request to leave from the ship, but the crew, they were still there. My ward was still there.
Oh, darling. I'm so sorry. It's gonna be fine. Do you want to look for her?
I don't know where to look. Are you right? Were you here? What are you even doing here, Mama? You were in Greywall.
I was. Greywall got hit too. So I knew I had to come as fast as I could. Make sure you're okay. That your father is okay, and he's fine. So I don't want.
Did they attack Daddy?
A lot of people, darling.
Tries to stifle it, but she starts crying against you.
Just holds her close and strokes her hair, and she doesn't say anything. She just lets Maggie let it all out.
Is there anything that anyone else would like to say or do while they're here?
Not in this particular area, but Kamar's getting a little antsy now. She's kind of like twiddling
Don't
her
worry,
thumbs.
sis. We're gonna drop down home, okay? Quite literally. I mean, we are going to fall through the center hole of Shan.
I know. I'm just glad everyone's okay, but I'm just worried.
You do know, Euphoria, from asking around that Kairos' ship never docked, so Syra never came to Sharn.
Okay.
So looking for him would be futile because he's somewhere else flying.
Yep. I didn't know if that included her as well. I know they're usually a package deal, but
Yeah.
maybe she was on her own this time. So
Yeah. Apparently, he never talked. He was supposed to, but then he got assigned something new and just immediately pieced out because it's Kairos.
checks out.
I think Ilya would probably walk up to Euphoria and just say, Euphoria, I think there's still some people left.
Yeah. Magnolia, darling, you can come with me if you want. I'd like to know that you're safe. You can also, we can drop you off with Oriana if you want.
I can head there on my own. I'll go make sure Daddy's okay.
Okay, she'll give her forehead a kiss and just says, "You're a brave girl."
I don't think I am. I failed my job, and I'm just the one who lived.
You know, your father and I, we raised you and Juby to be prepared for everything. But no one is ever prepared for everything. You didn't fail her, Magnolia. And you surviving means that you're still around to look for her. Right now, though, I know that your father could use a friendly face, and your siblings could use a big sister more than they need a bodyguard.
Kind of sniffles a few times and kind of does that nod, like trying to psych herself out of, the state of sadness that she's in. Like, I'm okay, I can do this. And she will eventually let go of you and kind of start very dazedly walking away, and will look back to you and disappear again.
That's my girl.
She's quite strong, even
Yeah.
if she doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Ilya will extend her hand for Euphoria.
It's thank you all. I think we have other places to be, though. So girls, you lead the way.
Connie makes sure that they all have their Featherfall tokens, and I'm sorry, Yuli, were you gonna say something?
Nope, just okay.
Okay. And Shawnee is going to leap from the platform and Featherfall down towards the lower levels, if the others want to follow. That's like Euphoria's first time seeing it, right? Or no, wait.
She's been to Sharn many times. She
Yeah.
used to live here.
Yeah.
She's used to this stuff.
You should jump off this bridge now.
Wee.
Wee.
As you leap down, you can't get totally to the lower towers because apparently they've suffered rather extensive damage, and most of the Featherfall areas are non-operational. You do see that while there are lots of guards and stuff in the middle and upper towers and House Durasco staff, they're not. There's a lot of people, trying to look through the rubble for people. You see some members of LD's Dask group, basically trying to help people. Some of the maybe like more street level support casters and stuff are trying to throw around some spare the dyings and healing. But minus maybe a couple city guards, this place seems to have largely been left to its own devices, as there are several fallen, shattered towers that have gone into other towers and stuff.
Sis, do you mind leading the way? All this imagery plus seeing Ray today, I just... It's just bringing up a lot of old bad thoughts.
It's okay. I'll be right there with you. Just gonna go and take her hand and lead the way.
As you start working your way through the rubble and streets and stuff, you notice a couple things, like the LD's bar has been obliterated, and as was the hotel that you guys stayed at. And you do see that there is a very badly maimed half ogre, who was the former bouncer at LD's club, is being attended to by by like a changeling street caster who is trying to heal up and bandage some of the parts of him. He's missing several fingers, and half of his face has been bandaged over with some very blackened and blood-soaked bandages. And there are probably about a couple dozen like white cloths, or not even white cloths, they're various like blankets and stuff have been pulled over, presumably other bodies that are strewn in the area.
It's just like when
He squeezes her hand a little bit harder.
we should go see LD. The watch should be helping here, but him and his gang are the ones who protect this place.
Yeah, let's try to find him.
Yeah. Hopefully he should be fine. He pays extra for reinforced walling. And we'll make our way to LD's office.
His office was the bar, and that's been obliterated. The
Sorry.
half ogre will look his one eye over to you as he kind of gestures the changeling away for a second. It goes, "Sis, you, sis?"
It's Shawnee, but I won't. Everybody gets 4. Anyways, it's Shawnee now. But is everything all right? Where's Boss?
He's gone. It's all gone.
What do you mean he's gone?
He was meeting some of the high ups. He had Opal there with him, and then there was the light, and I was tumbling, and he kind of coughs, and there's a splatter of blood on some of the dust. Nothing came out of there.
Listen, you're gonna be fine. All right, we got a buddy here, Malcolm over. He's gonna take care of you. I'm gonna go look in the rubble. LD's a tough guy. Maybe he's just a little sleepy. I'm gonna go look for him, and Shawnee will get up and start digging through the rubble.
Goes over. To heal you, I must first hurt you.
I don't think you can hurt me more than I feel right now.
It's infected.
Yeah.
Little Windex on him. Yeah, so you could easily use your significant clerical prowess. You're burdened through a lot of spells between Greywall and here. But yeah, you could get him all fully treated up and stuff. He's gonna have a hell of a lot of scars and stuff, but he will live. The changeling kind of, thanks you a lot and slinks off to go try and help some other people.
If they got 1 HP, that's good. That's all you need.
What about Ilya and Euphoria? What are you doing as Shawnee is digging through the rubble?
I think.
Go ahead.
I'll go. I think Ilya would probably just be like, since this is like deep in the lower district, is kind of, she can't really heal, but would kind of go around to just kind of check in on anybody, see if anybody needs anything that she can provide. whether it be like a cool hand to, stabilize or what have you.
Okay. As you tend to them, Shawnee, as you move through the rubble, you do find the only thing that's really left is actually a surprisingly intact hat. A fedora you used to see LD wear a lot, but it's got a lot of small pieces of presumably LD colored rocks in it.
She
Oh
crumples to her knees amidst the rubble.
no.
I,
Honey, no.
I, she gets up, clutching his fedora, and you see in her other hand now, she's also been carrying the silver flame pendant from Ray. Listen, I need to take charge of while LD's out. I'm gonna go see if I can find the rest of his gang spread out through town and tell him where to go, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
And Shawnee will go and check in with the ogre and figure out where to just quickly run around the surrounding blocks to yell at people, hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do this.
Okay.
We need to make sure that...
You can get some of the very now leadership-less elements of Dask in the area to do more than what they're doing already.
Mm-hmm. And assuming by some point, as like things are like automated enough that they don't need some sense of leadership, Shawnee will reconvene with the group.
The third bomb that was in the lower district, as you've talked to people, was actually centered on the apartment building that you and Kamar grew up in, and the resulting explosion and crumbling of the towers also destroyed the lovable Knoll Pizzeria that you guys ate at last time you were in Sharn having pizza.
Pony.
Kamar?
It's gone. It's all gone.
Shawnee's gonna slowly trudge her way through the rubble in what was their home and start digging.
There is, this place was not exactly a structural fortress before this explosion occurred. So largely you will only find rubble. What meager belongings you guys still had there has since been destroyed in the resulting magical detonation.
Kumar just kind of drops to her knees and picks up some of the pile of ashes and kind of runs it through her hands a little bit.
Shawnee will fall to her knees right next to her and grab her hand. I'm tired, sis.
I'm so sorry, Shawnee.
Don't say sorry. This happened to you too. But I'm tired. How many more times is this gonna happen? I don't know how much more the world's gonna take from us, but we need to do something about the here and now. Let's go figure out where Jarek is so we can kick the shit out of him. That's all I want to do right now.
I do too.
I can only think about that, because if I have to think about any of this for more than like 5 seconds, I am gonna break down and lose it.
We aren't going to let the Ashbringers hurt any more people we love. We need to end this.
Shawnee's gonna nod, and then, despite putting up a strong front for like everyone in the neighborhood, she now that they have a moment in the rubble, Shawnee's gonna go in for a hug with Kamar.
She's going to squeeze her so tightly and just hold her.
I just think that like internally they're both thinking the same thing of the world can take everything else, but I'm not gonna let it take this person from me.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll just stay like that until the party gets them, I think.
Yeah. So, as you guys kind of hold each other over the ruins, what do you do now?
All right, guys. We're gonna go find Jarek, right? We're gonna go find the Ashbringers and stop them, right?
Don't have to tell me twice.
We need to figure out where they are. And the governor mentioned that we should already have some idea of it. Do you guys think that they might be back at the last stand? Back where we did what we did? Or
Sylonia kind of chimes in. She goes, well, they would likely not have a reason to return there after, well, discovering what happened to it. I do know that if they have my father's soul and they were able to find Project Peacemaker, there is perhaps a secondary location they could be operating out of.
It's a good lead. Where might that be?
It's also in the Mournlands. It's... Well, while we were on the airship, we were attacked by several strange Warforged. I believe those were the Mark 10s that were based on a design that I had provided my father. Was a ethical solution to the issue of Warforged autonomy and consciousness, to create a different animating form besides whatever was the magic that somehow gave them sapience. They were created to survive the kind of conflict that Peacemaker could potentially create. And there was a facility where they were being produced elsewhere in the Mournlands.
Well, if they had some with them, since they must have been created somewhere. It's like this place.
It's a good lead as any.
we gonna go there right now? If they have all those Warforged and, well, they're them, we're gonna need all the firepower we can bring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Let's rally our troops.
we're gonna end this. So,
Back to Greywall one last time.
yeah. Are we just taking the lightning realm back? Or... I know this sounds crazy, but you wouldn't happen to think Kairos finally made it here and crashed the ship in, yeah?
We'd probably hear about it by now.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if Kairos had the thought of landing here, even someone like him would have the brains to think better of it, given the state of the airfield.
Yeah.
I have just one last thing to look after while I'm here. And I can do it by myself real quick. It's
No, we're going with you.
Your mother?
yeah. Listen, I'm not concerned about her. I know she's fine. But that's the only door I know to reach her. I just want to see if it's intact.
We can go take a look. But do you want to go alone?
Well, it won't take me long. And if it's standing, then it's standing. And if it ain't, well, that's a chapter that closed a long time ago.
I just Shawnee's gonna pick up a brick from her apartment. I just want to collect a few things to remember on our way back. Then
All right.
she's got LD's fedora on at this point, as well as Ray's amulet.
Yeah, Euphoria is just going to wind the familiar but now demolished streets and alleyways and make her way to Ecstasy's door just to see if that area is still standing.
Of all the people that have died in the wake of these attacks, all the suffering that has occurred, all the people that have been injured or maimed, you know who always happens to get by scot-free? Good old Ecstasy Cox.
You know, I kind of picture like the building is
Yep.
gone,
Yep.
but the door is still standing upright and just, you know what? I'm not even surprised at this point. Of course, she'd be fine. Let's go.
As you walk away from that, do you wish to all return to Greywall? Is there anything else you want to do while you're in Sharn?
I think for brevity's sake, we don't have to play this out. But before the party inevitably goes back to Greywall, she will inform Maggie and Oriana of the fact that she's going back.
Okay. Yeah.
Shawnee's gonna make sure there's someone to lead the charge of Dask while they're gone.
Yep. Yeah, they'll say, you know, like there should be a new consigliere arriving from a different part of the lower towers, basically, because LD wasn't the top Dask official in Greywall. He was just in charge of that area of the lower towers and everything. So there is an Oni lady who's actually the head Dask official. Fun Eberron fact. And
Eberron facts.
That's an Eberron fact. But yeah, so they'll have somebody new coming, but they thank you and appreciate everything you've done, and they swear vengeance if they ever find out who did this to LD.
No.
Blames the Bearmar.
I'm gonna take care of this. Don't you worry.
And then as you tell everyone about your leaving and stuff, Euphoria, Oriana is actually going to will grab you and hug you close and just say thank you for saving him.
Of course. Listen, I know I'm going to outlive the bastard, but that doesn't mean it's his time yet. I told him The last time that we talked, I told him to be there for you and the kids. And I'll be damned if I'm not going to give him as much time as possible.
I am sorry that I ever mistreated you, Euphoria. You are a better person than I ever gave you credit for.
I take great satisfaction in your apology, and I accept it, but know that you were very correct about my character on many an occasion. And I feel it proper to apologize as well for antagonizing you.
Yes. I accept your apology. It is new ground. We are family.
And I want you to know that despite how things may but I want you to know, Oriana, that it was only ever you that he had eyes for once you entered the picture. You're good for him.
Kind of does a very kind of forced smile and stuff. Because it seems at least that I will have to do everything I can to protect him now. I am sure he will hate that.
Yes, he will. But he might get used to being spoiled.
Before you leave, she will grab your arm and just say, Euphoria, if you find who did this to Augustus and to my family, I will do everything in my power to stop them from ever hurting anyone ever again.
I've got a lead, Orion. I've got a lead. And I won't rest till he's dead.
She nods before she lets you go. Au revoir, Euphoria.
See you later.
And with that, is there anything else you guys wish to do in Sharn before you presumably get a lightning rail back to Greywall? And given an extended amount of time to think.
I think Kamar is going to. She probably doesn't have enough time to go to the university, but.
I'm sorry, I completely forgot that because I did mention it, but I forgot to bring it up now. There was another location that was damaged here as well as in the top tower. So, Coach's gymnasium was destroyed in the lower towers. And then you do know that Moorgrave University was bombed as well in the upper towers. Sorry, I forgot that.
Damn, we were this close.
God damn it!
All right, let's go to the unit. We were at the lower city, so we can see that we saw the coach's gym. And is he there?
You do see that Coach is there. He has been burned and bruised. His jacket has been pierced in a dozen places as he is standing there with, maybe a dozen odd youths of various ages who are also dirty and everything. And you see a very haggard and worn-looking elven wizard next to him. As you specifically, Kamar can see that your professor she's continually like temporally like fragmenting. Apparently, she did a huge amount of chronotherapy, and it is somewhat destabilized her temporal flow right now. So she is very, very drained looking, and with just huge bags under her eyes, as you see like spasms to different timelines of her where she's dead. Like you literally see like she's a tattered corpse sitting there. You see actually a surprising amount where parts of her have been ripped off from or disintegrated from an explosion, or there she is holding a viscerated coach and stuff who was apparently immersed in an explosion or something. But she is kind of really heavily leaning on her staff as she sits there next to Coach.
God. Are you two okay? You're alive, right? You're both here?
Coach kind of grunts, and your professor kind of looks up, and as she looks up, you notice that one of her eyes is gone, and kind of immediately closes that eye as she looks at you and does a kind of tired smile and goes, "Despite his best efforts, we somehow survived."
I am so sorry.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Johnny. Sorry if I don't get up to hold you, but
you look at him, and he, much like Ray, has the entire like back of his jacket has been burned off, even through all of its magical wards and everything, and he looking really fucked up. Once you actually get to see the blast effect, apparently he was pulling people away from the gym, presumably when the explosion happened, and definitely had a lot of magical energy to protect him. Otherwise, he would be much like LD.
I'm just happy I'm not gonna carry another person's memento around. And like you can see LD's fedora on her head.
Shame to see that something finally did that fucker in. He was better than he had any right to be.
Yeah. Talking hurts our brains, and it looks like it's hurting you in other places more, so just take it easy.
I'm just glad you were all right.
Kamar can talk to her professor now. Sorry.
Yeah. She kind of goes and touches her arm very carefully and gives it a very light squeeze. Thank you for saving him. Thank you for this. I promise we're gonna end this.
If it wasn't for the children, I would regret ever saying anything to that lumbering oaf. But he insisted we had to help them, and I did everything I could to try and avoid that particular set of pathways, but apparently even I am not perfectly able to divine the courses of time.
No, you did all you could. Rest now.
I see you're all right. I think that at this point, if there's one lesson you need to take away, this is what happens when you get too attached.
Okay, we'll make this the right timeline.
I wish I could give you some kind of guidance, but seems, and she kind of looks her hand. You get that echoing effect as she moves her hand, like how when you cast spells, various versions of you participate. She's very much fragmenting through different timelines as she moves her hand, and she goes, seems that I have a bit of temporal disconnect right now.
Don't strain yourself any more than you already have. I've already learned so much from you, and I think the lesson you need is to relax and to build up your strength again.
Yeah. Kind of puts her head against yours for a moment. Just in that little classic, head touch. And she goes, yes, I think that this is time for me to rest a bit. I feel very tired. She kind of slumps against Coach as her staff drops out of her fingers. You see Coach kind of grumble as he extends out his arm that has been very burned and got some shards of rock and everything sticking out of it, but he kind of wraps it around her and just kind of glares in the other direction.
Please take good care of her.
Yeah, make sure she don't do anything stupid.
Thank you.
With you around, the most we can hope for is you'll be fine doing something stupid. But you guys will be. Johnny gets up and dusts her knees. We're gonna go take care of who did this, okay? So, when we come back, if you ask each other a very important question, we get to be your flower girls, okay?
Flower girls! Oh, God!
You see him cough up some blood.
Yeah. And with that, I think we're ready to go.
All right. Now with that, you've covered all your Sharn bases.
Okay.
I can't take anyone else away from you.
Yet.
Always yet.
Our companions will be with us forever, right, Ops? All four of them.
Hilarious. So with that, you can take the long, seemingly glacially paced trade ride back to Greywall. And now that, the disasters are, behind you, or I guess in front of you as you're going towards Greywall, you now just get that overwhelming feeling of everything sinking in, the adrenaline all wearing off, and the feeling of how much you've lost and how damaged what you do have is left. Is there anything anybody wants to do or say on the train ride before returning to Greywall?
Not particularly, but if the cats are receptive to some quiet company, Euphoria will stick close by them.
They need their mamas.
Yep. Same with Ilya.
I do want to do a conversation with Sylonia, if that's okay.
Okay.
I know it's late.
During the train ride, you could at some point talk to Sylonia.
Hey, Sylonia? Savannah? You got a sec?
Oh, of course, Shawnee. I just wanted to give you your space in light of everything.
You know me. I'm the type of person that needs people in my space when I get down like that. You saw me during my ugly goth phase. I'm grown. I'm mature now. I'll admit it. I was ugly as a goth. But I wanted to check in with you after everything that's happened today. You know you did a good thing for Augustus back there, right?
I did what little I could, absorbing his chimeric energy.
I'll never understand you magic folks. You bring someone back from the brink of death and you still calling it something little? No one else could have done that. You get that, right?
Yes, but also he wouldn't be in that state had I not, well, had my mother not devised that energy in the first place.
A lot of people wouldn't be in certain states if we never invented fire, yet here we are. You get that, right?
I
Listen,
understand.
one smith to another. You can't blame yourself for someone using your tools in ways you didn't want them to. I know I'm not going to change your mind or do anything to help you through the right you're in right now, but I just want you to ponder a thought of, could you do good? Could your magic and studies do good? Because I remember a certain cat that only thought that whatever they could do or create could only bring about bad things, breaking things, destroying things, but it's not the case for that cat anymore now. And you shouldn't ever think that you can't do something good. You can't make something good. You shouldn't think like that. Because you've done good, and you need to acknowledge that, too.
Yes, as everybody keeps telling me at this point.
Yeah, this ain't really helping, but if you do get the thought in your head, just don't immediately dismiss it.
I will take it into consideration.
Who knows? Maybe you could make a whole new field of medicine or something from this science or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, I'll leave you to it, sis. I mean, Sil. I mean,
Hey,
It doesn't matter. I do have a question for you, though.
go shoot.
If you knew of a way to help the Ashbringers, would you actually utilize it?
What do you mean, like, help Jarek accomplish what he sought out to do, saved his loved ones?
No, but if you knew a way to fix them, would you do it? Or would you consider how much they've taken away from you?
I'd do it in a heartbeat. I know the response seems kind of fast after everything that's happened, everything they've done. But one, I don't have it in me to hate anymore. I spent so much of my life fueled by that anger and hatred for the world. I don't want to be like that anymore. And two, I can't just decide who gets to suffer for what. I can't be the jury and pass that judgment. If we could help them and help them see that they could be better, have them atone for what they did, I would truly fight for that. But you're using help in a very broad and vague sense, so...
Well, I have some theories that I concluded based on my studies of some of the memory crystals and the nature of their particular state of living. And I believe it might be possible in a way that I don't believe Jarek ever thought of. Or perhaps he has been too blinded by his own quest for vengeance and hatred that he hasn't even seen it or realized it.
Wait for you to. Well, it sounds like you need to think it over, which you'll probably do on the ride back, but this should definitely be a decision we should make together. I don't think people would take kindly if we just up and decided to save them without at least hearing everyone's opinion. But do you want to? Would you even be open to that? I won't force my worldviews on you, you know.
Kind of just looks at you and goes, "In all honesty, Shawnee, I don't really feel anything about them. I don't even hate them. I feel like I should, but it's just like that part of me is gone."
Well, feelings are hard to explain, so you don't have to, but I do hope that means that you're more focused on your own well-being now.
I just feel like I want to stop them, but beyond that, nothing else really feels important anymore. So, if this will help you all reach your conclusions about what to do, then I will help facilitate it. But all I must know is that I have to stop Peacemaker, once and for all.
That's our futures, you know. We'll all figure what's important for each and every one of us afterwards, okay?
So, noted.
Anyways, sit. You're like a sister to me. You are a sister to me because I will leave you to it.
Before you guys get back to Greywall, Sylonia will actually gather you all together. We'll drop this as the final thing for tonight. I was talking to Shawnee earlier, and I wanted to bring before you a particular issue with the Ashbringers that I feel you should take into consideration in your coming decisions. In the memory crystals inside of the Last Stand, as well as some of my own conclusions, the artificer who was involved in the project indicated that the only person who could potentially fix the issue would be a sufficiently powerful individual in the Church of the Silver Flame. And I believe that's because the Keeper of the Flame is the only sufficiently powerful cleric in all of Corvair who could be able to potentially truly resurrect the Ashbringers. I think whatever connections to the Delkir they had could be potentially severed if they are killed and potentially brought back through such a means. I don't think Jarek either doesn't realize that's an option, or he doesn't believe that obviously the Keeper of the Flame would be forthcoming with such a thing if presented with that as an option. I just felt like if and when we confront them, it should be important for you to know that it may be possible to restore them. I don't know how they essentially were beforehand, aside from the most cursory information. They might be just as big a monsters as they are now. But it could be a potential way to fix the injustice that was done to them. However, they have done great and atrocious things, and that memory and record will not disappear, and the bounties that were out for them are still going to be in place. You potentially help them in this way, and the Treaty of Throneholt officials find out about it, you'll be considered accomplices to their own terrorist acts, and, well, you obviously can see the dangers in that. There's also the fact that they are worth a considerable amount of money if brought to the Thronehold officials dead. I believe the bounty was 10,000 gold each. You'd be missing out on that as well, if that money could be invaluable to preparing us to confront Jarek and what other abominations he has brought to his cause to activate Peacemaker itself. I just felt that if and when we confront them, you should probably know the full extent of options available to us.
If we bring them back, I feel like they would only be disgusted by Jarek's actions.
Well, two things. One, I want to get off my chest that I kind of already gave Sylvana my Sylonia my decision, but I think if I was them, I mean, I could have been them. I don't think any amount of ugliness would stop me from wanting to save someone I cared about. And given how far he's gone for them, I think it's safe to say they feel the same way to him.
That can't excuse everything that's been done, though, Shawnee.
There have been many atrocities in their name. As well, even if we did bring them back, they would be forever on the run. They would not be able to go back to their normal lives. Their home is gone. Anywhere they go, they would be fugitives. Why not let them be at peace in the afterlife, where they can be happy with the deeds they did as they lived?
Would they be happy? And their bodies are being used for things they're proud of. Their commander, their family is being brought to the brink of their own sanity's end.
We can commune with the spirits if we wish to have them be at peace. That is not an excuse to bring them back. The dead are dead.
Listen, all I know is if I died when I died, and I saw you guys going through it just for me, I wouldn't settle for a conversation. I'd want to get back in there, no matter what the cost, to help you guys. And when I saw their expressions, I feel like I could see a part of them that was like that.
Not everyone's as good as you, Shawnee. I mean, is this chance, this possibility, this gut feeling of yours, is it worth being outcasted for?
Those kids you said you would take care of?
Well, first off, we're getting right back. I have the money for that. As soon as we're back in Greywall, you're picking it back up. And second, I've got faith that the good we've done, the people we've helped, the things the world's taken from us, the world owes us enough to at least have faith in one potentially bad decision.
I don't think the governor would feel the same way.
I don't feel the same way.
Malro, they were heroes you looked up to. You
Yes.
knew them at the peak.
And
most
they
of all.
died as heroes.
What they're doing isn't
I
exactly.
don't want to
death.
bring them back into the world that they are now. They gave up their lives as soldiers. They knew what they were getting into. Every soldier who signs up knows that they put their life on the line.
Is that really all they know? Did they sign up? Did they knowingly sign up for the consequences of whatever experiment the nation had for them? Because from how Jarek described it, it didn't seem like they really knew what was going to happen after their death. They sign up for all of the trauma and pain that war brought. At least we get paid. They fought for a cause that no longer supports them.
The best thing we can do for them is let their spirits go into the afterlife. They'll be much happier there, wherever it is they ended up, rather than being fearful, scared, and lost down here.
If I might. I feel very conflicted on this. I don't know what if any afterlife awaits them, but I feel like I've built myself on the idea is that people deserve a chance at redemption. Now, do people like this deserve that same chance? Thousands of lives? I don't know. I know I killed hundreds, and I'm allowed to roam free. Live my life happily. Just doesn't seem entirely fair, I suppose, in my heart.
In my opinion, they stopped being who they were after they died. They are completely different people.
I think this moral quandary probably a good place to finish it, since I know we're past 3 hours at this point.
Yeah.
I wanted to toss out the potential ways of dealing with the Ashbringers for you. But with that, I think we're pretty safe to wrap up the consequences episode. And now we can proceed to the gays strike back. It was a hell of a time. Hope everyone enjoyed watching it. Hope my players enjoyed playing it, as I made them suffer so very, very much.
What did the cats do wrong?
Yay!
The cats had too many people they cared about. They had it too good for too long. But yeah, with that, we'll wrap things up here, and next time we're gonna get ready for the shit as we get the War Council of Gays, and we enter the final sets of combat of the campaign. So I hope you're all excited for that. If you haven't done so already, please give a follow to all of these wonderful players under the exclamation point players command. Also, feel free to give me a follow here on Twitch, a sub over on YouTube, a follow on Twitter, and you can join my Discord, the Eternal Citadel, to be a part of my incredible community. We will be back here Wednesday, probably, for some art, and that'll be it for the week. So we'll be hopefully back here next week for way more action and depression. Who knows? This is Eberron after the last war. Those are our bread and butter is depression. So we are going to go try round 2 of raiding Draco Raylan. He messaged me after we raided him and he had gone offline to basically apologize. So we're going to try. He's like, I'm going to be live right now. Please, if you want to raid me again.
Give me the raid right now, Bobs.
He is an artist who is working on a webcomic right now. So let's go send him some love. And I hope everybody had fun. We're in the final days here, baby. Final days. I can now still do the potentially wiping away of all of the NPCs. I made such a hard time statting as our heroes killed them one by one. You love to see it. Have a great night, everybody. If you're a follower, please copy down the call to hugs. If you're a sub, please copy down the night's message. And have the sweetest of dreams. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.